All right. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great day so far. My name is Carrie Cootie. I'm coming in here to give you some back to school tips, a little bit about me if you are new around here. So I'm a wife, I'm a mom of two. That's what makes me really interested in this subject. And I know if you have kids, you are as well. I'm an integrative health pharmacist. So I'm very interested in how we can be more preventative in our health using different lifestyle modifications, using diet, using movement, using supplements, using essential oils. All those things really interest me. And so I constantly am just building upon what I already know and want to pass that on to you. And so some of these things, if you've listened to a class like this before, might be like, okay, yes, but they're good reminders. Some of these things might be new. They will be new that I've presented. So I hope this class really helps you in getting prepared, because here's the thing. This year is so much different than any other year ever, I think, in the history of sending our kids back to school. And so whether you have decided to send your kids back to actual school, in-person school, or you're going to do homeschool, or whatever you're going to do, I feel like these tips will be really something that you can use regardless. For me and my family, we've chosen to send our children back to school, and so they are going to be starting very soon. So I wanted to get this class out and ready for you all, so that you, no matter when you go back to school, you can really gain some of these tips. And so I want to start with what we can do for our kids, and a lot of these things that I'll share will really be for parents, for teachers, for anyone that wants to use these tips. They can definitely be used by all ages. And so I'll kind of tell you how you can do that as we go on. But I am going to start with the kids, because I think as a mom, I can totally relate. I mean, we're just a little nervous, right? It's new. We don't know what to expect. There's just a lot of heightened sense of fear. And I understand why. But I don't think we should fear. I think we should do everything that we can within our power, and just trust that the rest is going to be taken care of, and that it'll all work out. But I really want to show you how you can do the best that you can at home, and just kind of not worry about the rest. You can only do what you can do, and so that's what I'm really going to talk about here today. And I think that in the midst of this whole thing we have with COVID and everything, there's just so much, like I said, there's so much fear, but there's not a whole lot of information to really help you be more empowered to what you can do at home. I mean, obviously we can wear masks, and we can wash our hands, and obviously we should do those things, but what else can we do? That to me is really sad that that's not been talked about more. So that's really what I'm going to talk about now. Okay, so let's talk about some supplements. And again, I'm going to start with kids. I'm going to focus on kids, and then we're going to move into teachers, and then obviously parents. You can use a lot of these same things on yourself. So first off, supplements. So everybody, including children, should be on a probiotic. And you probably heard this by now, but some of these things are going to be reminders, like, oh yeah, I need to order some of that. Oh yeah, I need to pull it out of the cabinet and start using it, because the thing is, like, we're starting in about a week. And so I'm going to go ahead and start doing some of these things, because we need to get it in their system and get it, built up as much as we can, obviously. So I'm not going to necessarily recommend a ton of brands right now, because there are certain ones. And so I'm going to actually write up a whole blog post that'll be on my website, that'll have links, and that'll have different options for you for probiotics and all the things that I'm going to mention. They need to be on some type of multivitamin. They do. Especially children, they need to fill in the gaps where they're not eating a lot of vegetables. I know my kids are not, unfortunately. They're just at that age. We try. They do pretty good, but everybody has gaps that need to be filled. So multivitamins is really key. And again, I'm going to share links and things, but you want to stay away from the things that you can buy at the drugstore for most all of this, because they're just not going to be a great quality. So I just want to at least even if you don't go and look at the blog post with all the links, I just want to encourage you to look more than just at the drugstore, because you're not going to find very high quality anything at the drugstore as far as supplements and oils go. Okay, so vitamin C is another thing that we've heard a lot of. Vitamin C is normally something that I don't use every day. But they're, especially the first few weeks, especially if your kids haven't been out a whole lot, we've kind of been in quarantine and all that, you're going to want to boost their immune system a little bit more than you normally would. And then maybe, you can do some of these things 2 or 3 times a week. But for right now, I'm going to give my kids vitamin C every day for at least the first 2 weeks. And so again, I'm going to post various links for that. Your kids, it's going to depend on how old they are for some of these things, liquid or, pills or chewable or whatever it might be, but I'm going to give options. So vitamin C is really important. Vitamin D is something that normally we talk about a good bit when it gets a little cooler and there's not as many, we're not outside as much, which we're outside more now, obviously, because it's the summer, we're not going to school. But whenever the kids go back to school, they're not going to be outside as much then. So regardless, I feel like we need to go ahead and be supplementing them with vitamin D, because vitamin D is something we normally get from the sun, mostly. We can get it some from food sources, but everybody is pretty much deficient in vitamin D. So I want to encourage you to go ahead and supplement with that. It's super easy to do this one. These drops don't taste at all, and you just can put them on their tongue. It's very easy. Adults can use the same drop. So I'm going to have that link for you all. Zinc is something that you might have heard a lot of as well. Zinc is something that a lot of us are deficient in, and that can really help boost the immune system. And so I'm going to share a brand and a way that you can give your kids zinc. And this might be something you want to pair with vitamin C. If you want to do it every single day for the first few weeks and then do it 2 or 3 times a week, that would be really great. And one more thing as far as supplements go would be something called quercetin. And if you haven't heard of this, it's one that's fairly new to me. I've heard of it a few times in the years, but specifically now with everything that's going on, this is actually a little bit about what quercetin is. It's a flavonoid antioxidant that's found in a lot of plant-based foods, so like leafy greens and vegetables and things like that. So if you're eating those things, you are getting some quercetin in your diet already. But what's really great about this is it helps to mediate the inflammatory response in your body. And so it's been said that it's very helpful to prevent certain things, and if you get certain things, that it will really be helpful to help mediate that response that can make certain things get worse. Hopefully you're following in between the lines of that. So adults, again, can take this. Kids also can take this. There's a kids version as well, and the dosing is correct for them in that. So I'm going to have all those links in my blog post, and it'll be up hopefully soon, today or tomorrow. Okay, so let's talk about oils. And then we're going to talk about sleep and stress and diet, because these things all go together. If you don't take anything else away, and you maybe don't go out and get a lot of these things, maybe you have some of them at home that you can start taking, but I want you to realize that it's really a whole approach. There's not one thing that's going to be the savior. It's really going to be coming at it as a holistic type of approach. And so that's what I hope that you understand today. Okay, so oils. For kids specifically, I really love the Stronger blend. That is the part of the kids line, and it has really strong, powerful oils such as rose, frankincense, litsea, cedarwood. I think that's all that's in that blend. But they're awesome at improving the immune system, really helping it to be strong, and stronger, right? That's the name of it. So that's what we want to do. We want to boost the immune system. So I apply one of these oils every morning. So I like to rotate my oils as well. I know if you've followed along with me for a while, you know that it's just like our foods. We need to rotate them. We don't need to be eating the exact same things every single day. It's just great to get different benefits from different foods, and same thing with oils. And so Stronger is a great one. And where I apply these oils, if they're using them topically, which most younger kids will, and to adults, you're still going to use things topically. I love to put them back on the spine. So I just roll them up and down the spine. It's very easy to get to when your kids are going out the door and in the morning. And so you can put them on your spine, or you can put them on the bottom of your feet. That's another great place. So Stronger's good. Obviously, Venua's On Guard's good. I mean, that's a great blend that so many of us know about and love. Frankincense is awesome, and a blend that you can actually make that doesn't come pre-made. And again, this is all going to be on that blog post, so don't have to worry about remembering it. Arbor Vitae, tea tree or melaleuca, lemon, rosemary, and frankincense. And I'm going to give that recipe. It'll be exactly how many drops and how you make that blend. So that's a really great blend. And again, you're getting different oils in there than a blend like On Guard, right? You're varying your oils, which is great. So DDR Prime is another unsung hero, I think. That's a pre-made blend that doTERRA has. It is very powerful. It's a blend of very powerful oils. It really helps with cellular function, which is great for just healthy living, right? Just staying healthy, but it can really be great at fighting off different things that we come in contact with. So that is one that if you don't have that, I would highly encourage you getting that, because just like On Guard and just like Stronger, it's a pre-made blend. So you might like that a little bit better. I would encourage you to get that if you don't want to make your own. Some of these other blends. Rose is a really great one that I mentioned. It was in Stronger. It's awesome for, it's great for emotional and for immunity. So I really love it that it's good for both things. Okay, so those are the oils that you can use. Now, like I said, I put something on them every morning and something on them every night. So basically between these 5 or 6 different things, that's what you're going to rotate through. And then obviously hand sanitizer, the On Guard hand sanitizing mist, I have those everywhere now. And so I would encourage you to send that with your children to school. I've always sent it to school with mine in their backpack. Messages, one in their backpack and one in their their lunchbox. Now I'm sure my was 4-year-old in pre-K didn't even use that before he dug into his lunch. But anyway, maybe he will this year. I'm going to try to keep talking to him about it. But I know my daughter uses it every day before their lunch, before she eats her lunch. So I would definitely recommend sending hand sanitizer to school with them, because here's also the other thing. I mean, this is a whole nother subject, but we can't over sanitize everything. And so the chemical sanitizers that they're going to be using, that's going to be all around the schools probably and being sprayed everywhere, that's a concern too. And so it's important to try to not use those if we don't have to, right? I understand that they're going to have those in different places and probably going to make them use them during the day. But if they can, I'd rather them use the On Guard. It doesn't have any chemicals in it. It's actually going to help the good bacteria stay on their hands, versus the other hand sanitizers get all of the bacteria off your hands, which makes it really more susceptible for the bad bacteria to stick to your hands. So long story short, I would just encourage them to use that as much as they can. Okay. I just wanted to pause right here and talk about oils that you can use internally if your child is of age, old enough. So if your child can really probably from about 2 to 5 or 6, they have the On Guard beadlets, which are really, really tiny beadlets. It's like 1/4 of a drop of On Guard. That's the one I'm going to recommend. And that you can put this in food, and they can just, if you can just put it on maybe applesauce and put it on their tongue, they can just swallow it down. It's that small. And so I would encourage you to get some of those and start giving them that maybe every day for a couple weeks, like I said, but then every 2 or 3 days on a regular basis. And then once they can start swallowing pills, probably around 7 or 8, that's when my daughter could, you're going to want to maybe give them something like Copaiba is a really great oil. It helps. I love the way that it helps to increase the immune system, but it also helps to calm them, which we have to remember, and I'm going to talk about this in just a minute, but these kids are going to be more stressed out than normal, unfortunately. I mean, there's a lot of fear around everything. I mean, they feel that too. There will be people in masks at their school. Maybe they're having to wear a mask. It's just stressful. I mean, these kids really don't know why all this is going on, especially, younger kids. And so I think we really need to be mindful of that. So I love that the Copaiba, and you could use this one topically as well. I didn't really mention it, but you could definitely do this one topically, but they make Copaiba soft gels. So I would alternate those between the Copaiba and the On Guard soft gels during this school week for at least a few weeks. DDR Prime is another one that you can take internally in a soft gel. And, I would maybe just throw that one in to alternate in the morning, or you could obviously give that one at night too. But it's really great for boosting the immune system and keeping the cells healthy. Okay, let's talk about sleep. Sleep is very important. That's a whole nother class, but it's going to be very important for the whole family, but definitely for your kids. And so prioritizing sleep is really important. Just really quick, I love to use Serenity. That's probably my #1 go-to for a great restful night's sleep. That would be on the feet. You could put on the feet and in the diffuser, also on your pillow if you wanted to. For older kids and adults, you can use Serenity soft gels. They're amazing as well. So prioritizing sleep is really important. Like I said, I'm not going to go into great detail about that, but those are a few things that you can use to prioritize sleep. So stress, let's talk about minimizing stress. So as I mentioned, it's going to be something that is going to be really important to think about, even more so than normal. So here's a few things that I love in my go-tos. So Calmer for kids is one of in the kids collection. It's a really great blend that's going to help them just to calm their nervous system. So you can use it before bed. You can use it during the day. It's a great one. You might want to send it to school with them as well. Peace is another one that I love to use. It's the name says it all, right? We want to be more peaceful. And so you can diffuse this one. You can make it in a roller bottle and put it on your kids' feet, on their wrist. That's a really great one. I like to use that one at night more so and diffuse that one in their bedroom. And then lastly, but certainly not least, is my favorite, Adaptive. Adaptive is my go-to for stress, period. I love it. That comes in a roller bottle, it comes in a blend to diffuse, and it also comes in a capsule. And so, if your kids are old enough to swallow capsules and they really struggle with stress and anxiety, or they just, especially like I said, a lot more kids are probably going to struggle with those things. Adaptive supplement is something that you should think about. And for you, I definitely take it. I've been actually taking 2 a day, probably since the kids have been out of school, to be honest. So that's something that has been a major help to me. And so I wanted to mention that for your kids. But obviously they can use a roller bottle by themselves. They would just put it on their wrist, or diffusing Adaptive is really great too. I like to do that in the afternoon a lot, maybe when they come home from school. Okay, quick little just talk about diet. You can't talk about keeping yourself healthy without thinking about what you're eating. And like I said, these could be classes within classes, but diet, just try to keep it as clean as possible. Limit dairy, sugar, and gluten. Those are the 3 top inflammatory foods. And, increase water intake. That's always going to help get your body moving, get the bad things out. If they do eat a lot of sugar, or maybe at school when you can't control that, obviously we can't control everything, but let's think about what we can control. Give them a great breakfast to send them out the door. Give them a great lunch maybe to take with them. And then at night, you're going to cook, some healthy foods and meat, vegetables maybe. So just think about how you can, obviously we're thinking about these things for ourselves too as parents. So just try to think about that. It really matters so much. Okay, so teachers, all the same as above. I mean, you can use all of those things that I mentioned. I just wanted to also just kind of think about what you can do in your classroom. On Guard Cleaner Concentrate Spray is going to be definitely a go-to for cleaning your room and spraying out down the countertops. And really, you can clean anything with that cleaner. Right now, at the time of this recording, it's available for only people that have already saved it in their LRP cart. So just a little, and I'll include this recipe on the blog post as well. But, if you want to make your own, you can use your On Guard essential oil in the bottle, and then you can buy some Castile soap, which is like Dr. Bronner's is a good brand. It's one that a lot of places have available. And you can just put a little bit of that. I'll put the recipe on the blog, like I said, so don't worry about measurements right now, but just that. The Dr. Bronner's water and On Guard oil will make a great substitute for that. Obviously, the hand sanitizer, you can make your own if you don't want to buy it pre-made, but I recommend buying the pre-made because it has the right ratio of alcohol to the other plant-based cleaners, to the On Guard and all that. So, but if you wanted to make your own, you could use like rubbing alcohol, On Guard essential oil, maybe a little bit of fractionated coconut oil for moisturization, and then water. So, those are some things that you can do in your classroom. Obviously, diffusing is going to be really key. Hopefully your school system allows you to have a diffuser. So many teachers do now, which I'm very glad of. So a few things that you might want to think about getting and having your class ready to go to diffuse. So there's On Guard, there's lemon, there's wild orange, there's citrus bliss is another great one. You can add frankincense to any of those, and it'll give a good maybe calming immune boost. Lavender, peppermint, rosemary, those are good for calming, for focus. I mentioned peace earlier is really great if you just really want them to calm down. Maybe your class takes a nap, you could diffuse it during that time. And so those are some things for teachers that you can do, obviously over and above what I mentioned. And Parents, a lot of the times, I'm trying to think of what I'm taking so that I can give them the kid version of it. Now, they don't take nearly as many supplements as I do, but it's important for us to think about, yes, we want to keep ourselves healthy, but obviously we want to do the same thing for our kids. And so I hope that really this is a chance for you to think, like, what am I doing? And could I include some of these things and really get back on a good routine for both of you? So I would like to mention also, I brought my little basket. You might have seen this before. This is a really great thing to have, this little basket with a lot of the various things that I mentioned that you're going to be doing in the morning, giving these supplements. Obviously, I've got toothbrush and toothpaste in here. I've got the oils to roll on. You can put supplements in a basket. So it's all there together, because if you've got this supplement over here and they have to brush their teeth over here, and then the oils are maybe put up in a box, like, you're not going to use those every day, probably, maybe for the first few days, but this basket makes it so much easier. So it's kind of like a health station right there, wherever you're going to be, like the last place before you walk out the door. Like, it's in my kitchen in a drawer. And so I just pull it out, pop it on the countertop, and do everything I need to do out of there. And I'm good. And the kids are good, and they're off the door. And I've kind of checked all those boxes, and it's really easy to just have this one basket to do that. So I just wanted to mention that. Alrighty. Well, I wanted to keep this class as concise as I could, and so hopefully I've done that. If you have any questions, please let me know, but I'm thinking your questions might be answered in the blog post. Obviously, any of the essential oils, I'm going to recommend doTERRA because they're the purest brand that you can buy. And so you're going to want to make sure that you invest in that. And I can't say that, I can't reiterate that enough. If you're going to really invest in your health, you don't want to waste money on things that don't work. I'm never going to tell you to do that. Like, I'm only going to give you the things that are really going to be impactful, and buying a inferior brand because it's cheaper is not going to have the impact that you want. And so basically you're going to waste your money. And I mean that in the best way possible. Some of these supplements are the same way. Like, that's what I mentioned. If you're buying Flintstones vitamins, no, girl, don't do it. You're wasting your money. You're probably giving them some unsavory things that are really counter effective to boosting their immune system and really filling in those gaps. They're not getting what they need from that. I can pretty much guarantee that. And so I don't want you to waste your money. I'm trying to help you allocate your funds to where it's really going to have the most impact. And so just get the good stuff. Get the stuff that you're going to be investing in your health with, and don't just get whatever is available in the local supermarket or the drugstore just because you heard Carrie recommend frankincense, or you heard Carrie recommend vitamin C, and you're just going to pull that off the shelf. It's not going to be the same. So I want to put that disclaimer out there. And you don't have to use necessarily the same brands that I use, but I use these brands and I trust these brands because they work and because they're the best. So I just wanted to make that statement in there because, like I said, I don't want you to waste your money or your time or your efforts. Alrighty. Well, on Instagram, this will be saved on IGTV. On Facebook, I failed to mention that I have not been able to see any of your comments. So I'm going to go back and see if you have any comments or questions. But this video and all the links are going to be in that blog post. So I will put that out whenever I have it available. So you can always go back there to refer to it, and you can have those links to purchase if you would like to. Alrighty. I will see you all later. Have a great weekend. Have a great back to school. And remember that we can do everything we can. We can trust the rest. We can pray. We can remain calm, and we can know that it's going to be all okay because we know who's in control. All right, guys, I will see you later. Bye, everybody.